Well, hello boys, how you doing? So, in today's video, I kind of just want to talk about immutable distros and why I'm not a big fan of them. And so, first, I guess we should get started by explaining what a immutable distro is. For those of you who don't know, I'll link to this article here. If you just search immutable Linux distro, I'm sure you'll find this page, but I'll go ahead and link it down below if you want to come and read more on immutable Linux distros and see some that, are at least casually recommended, normally recommended to people. And these include like Fedora Silverblue, Carbon OS, Nix OS. There's a whole bunch of them that are immutable, but an immutable distro is, as it says right here, an immutable distro ensures that the operating system's core remains unchanged and that the root file system for an immutable distro remains read-only. And of course, I'm getting a literal stream of freaking text right now as soon as I press record. Awesome. But when it comes to immutable distros, essentially the idea of them is that you can go in and use an immutable distro without any problems as a new Linux user, and you're not going to have to worry about accidentally breaking something because the core system itself, you're not allowed to change. You can't change that. You can install new programs, do that kind of thing, but changing the core system, technically speaking, you can change it from immutable, at least some of them, and go in and do stuff, but most of them, no. The whole idea is you're not supposed to be able to change the core system. It's to keep you from breaking the system. Personally, I don't like these distros. For one, because I am the type of user that is going to want to change things. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense for me to, be invested in one of these types of distros where I can't change the core system. It kind of depends on what kind of user you are. If you're the type of user who just wants a computer to do computer things and load up the applications that you want to get into, if you're not interested in theming your system, which technically speaking, you can theme a immutable distro, but there's some things at the system level that you aren't going to be able to theme or change or whatever, obviously. So if that's something that you're into, they're probably not for you. But really, if you've been using Linux for a long time, you know your way around a Linux system. You're not the target audience for immutable distros. Immutable distros, at least the way I see it, their target users are those who are either new to Linux or just genuinely couldn't give a shit less about their base system, their core system, whether it be Windows, Mac, whatever. They don't give a shit about what that is as long as it loads up the programs they want and they can do the things they need to do inside of it. That's all they care about. For those kinds of users, immutable distros are fantastic. Mainly just because a lot of the issues that people experience on Linux, you're not going to have to ever face because, for one, a lot of the different issues on Linux are introduced by um, mainly people doing things or installing things in a way that the people who maintain your distro don't expect you to do it, and it can cause issues. Again, not all issues on Linux can be summed that way, but a lot of them do end up happening that way. So the immutable distro thing kind of takes care of that because the people who run your distro ensure the base system is exactly the way they want it, and the way you're going to install applications doesn't affect the core system in any way. So you're fine. Um, yeah, so I think really, in all honesty, immutable distros definitely have their use case, but for me, the way that I would like to tell people about immutable distros is if you're a new Linux user or you want to use Linux just for like, you know, maybe security benefits, privacy benefits, whatever, and you don't really care about learning the core system or don't know the core system or just don't care about it, then immutable distros can potentially save you a lot of time working with issues that you might otherwise run into somewhere else. Now, I'm not saying that's guaranteed. It's save you time or anything. All the white knights for regular Linux distros, calm down. I'm not saying they're better, going to save you problems or whatever, or the others are littered with problems. My point is that it may save you some issues that you potentially might run into. And I don't think immutable distros are bad at all. I also don't think non-immutable distros are bad. I just think immutable distros in particular serve a specific type of use case and a specific type of person that the other distros, it's not that they don't cater to them, but they're not specifically catered for them. Immutable distros are specifically catered towards new users and people who just want their system to come exactly the way the developers intend for it to, and don't want to accidentally mess around on the system. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing with immutable distros, is not allowing someone to make changes, but it's not allowing someone to accidentally make changes and cause problems. So yeah, that's kind of been my take on immutable distros. I don't think it's that wild, that crazy of a take on them, but let me know what you think down in the comments. And you know, if you enjoyed the video, the little conversation, please hit the like button and consider going over and checking out my fantastic Patreon page, where my beautiful patrons give me support over there. So thank you, Jonathan, Zach, TGB, Papa Smurf, and Matt from the Linux Cast for your support. If you want to go over there and join them, it would be much appreciated. Because of my Patreon and the little bit of ad revenue I make around here, I can force myself to scoot out and make extra time for these videos. So thank you guys. It means a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.